Okay, so my stream dropped, so I had to restart my computer to get it back working. So sorry for any viewers who got confused. I'm not sure exactly where it crashed, but I haven't done any work since I left for my break. So you won't have missed anything. And I'll keep this as like part 2 on my YouTube channel so that you have access to everything so you can see what's happening. So what I did until I realized that actually my stream has crashed was I went back and listened through to make sure that I like what I've done so far. And I think it's good what I have. Now I just got to continue where I left off really. So I'm just going to keep an eye on what's happening here. Yeah. And yeah, we'll keep going. So what I thought would be nice would be when we get to winter school and I was very nervous, that would be a good place to do block harmonies. So I wanted to then do it with the female voice parts, sopranos, altos. But I want to, essentially, I also want to have block harmonies here. But what I want to do, and I want to do this as an optional solo, is I want for the and I find it kind of funny, I find it kind of sad. I want that bit to have that drone note at the top. So I'll just write that in. And then I'll use the same what I'm trying to say. I'll use the same approach to the second chorus as I used to the first chorus. I do want to reuse some of my material. I don't want to have to like reinvent all the stuff I've done. So from here on, this will be exactly the same. I'll just copy this out. Now I'll want probably to end after the second chorus because that's what most versions do, and I don't see any reason why I wouldn't want to do that. So I'll take it from here. Just this. I already copied out the chorus, so that's fine. G. A's. That's great. That doesn't have to have much right now. Oops. There we go. That's right. Just write this for people arriving late. Okay. So I know that I want to do this. And I'll know that I want to have all the other parts. So this is just notes from before. I might not do this, but essentially I'll write this as solo. And then all of the sopranos will be on this one line. And then I imagine it's going to be similar to before. So what kind of way did I harmonize it before? Yeah, it's this. I find out how to tell this bit. I'll harmonize it similarly to that. So I'm funny, I find it kind of sad away. And then I'll have let's see. I'll try some stuff out. Like that. That's what I did before. Like so that's... like so. Like so. So that means that now it's kind of the altos and second sopranos that are leading it. This will be, because it's the solo, it'll be P. Now that's does require a bit of control, but I think most choirs will have at least one soprano that can do that. Like, I think that'll be fine. Hing. So that'll be also piano. Now what do I do? I think basses will be in unison with tenors here. There'll be a lot of G happening, but that's fine. I want this open, spacious quality. So then whatever part is being doubled will come out stronger. So that's fine. Yeah, oops. I actually did this in 4 parts, which means I can just replace like this. Yeah. Yeah, and that should work fine. So what will that sound like? Yeah, that'll be nice. Then again, just oops, what are you doing? Come on. Maybe there. I could even, for extra dramatic effect, have it as PP. It's just about an arrangement they can do a PP. Funny kind of sad, Mr. Funny, I find it kind of sad. And then same thing, and then I'll drop basses an octave. And yeah, that should sound pretty amazing. Yeah, same thing. And I know how to do this, so I'll just. I'll probably go like so. Maybe a little bit. A little bit louder, maybe. Going up to an MP here. So that'll be, so when you do this will be solo, but then I'll write I'll subs on this one. So that indicates to anyone reading it that, okay, so I'm now moving here and whoever's doing the solo goes to the other one. So this should all be in 4 parts. That's good. Like so. Boom. There. Now I got my second pre-chorus. So I got this high drone with with the other parts harmonizing below. Okay, so that was not supposed to go up. Now I'll change my oohs to ahs. So what this achieves is, oops, this achieves more volume because open vowels tend to come out louder than closed vowels. I'll just change all these to ahs. Take a little while for me to get all of these in position, but yeah, essentially that's what I'm doing, just changing all of these to ahs. Where's that F doing there? Go away. Yeah, so I'll just sort out all these vowels over here. So I want to make sure that all my oohs are now ahs. Yeah, this is kind of like busy work, but it's fine. This is part of the job, is just dealing with busy work. I think that's all of them. Anyway, I mean, if I didn't get all of them, then these will be double Fs. F. So I'm reusing the exact same orchestration, but I've changed the layout and the dynamic. And also, I've now put this. When I first did it, I put it in a range where it's going to be achievable to get it both quiet and loud. Like so. That means all I need to do now is fill in this bit. So I think to have some development, I'll want the second half of the second verse to be in block harmonies. Now, before my stream dropped, I was working out ways to do this. So I decided it'll be something like this. Just having the sopranos and altos singing in block harmonies. Now, do I want it to have... I think I'll write it in and see what it sounds like. Sopranos on top, soprano 1's on top, and then sopranos and altos harmonizing below. So. Yeah, I'll harmonize it a little bit differently. There we go, and just carry that over. Yeah, so that's just me taking the melody and harmonizing down. using the chord progression that I've already worked out. So without having done any of the tenor or bass parts properly yet, I can then listen to, let me just get rid of the chord symbols, they're in the way, go away. Like, that sounds nice. Like, I'll buy that. And then I'm going to have the basses and tenors doing some simple accompaniment parts. I'll do the same here again. Again, we're having a decrescendo towards the end here, so I don't need to build to anything. They're going down into like mid-range. And then I'll have one soprano pop up and do her high note. And I'll drop the little counter melody I heard in the original. Like, I don't think it's a necessary part of the arrangement. Okay. So same thing. And I'm just putting in a suspended fourth there because it's just a way of creating more interesting harmony. Oops. And that should, yeah, that'll be fine. And then I'll sort it out in a second. I'm just gonna get this all spread out. Use the arrange feature. I'll notate this. So I've got like so. Okay, here's what I'll do. I'll put in a second part like this, like so. Technically speaking, that is going to look a bit weird because I'm now changing. That being said, I could change these. Sometimes Sibelius is a little bit weird when it comes to how you use different voices on the same clef. So I'm going to change these. So the second voice at the top, and then I'll flip them like so. And I'm going to get these. So this is now voice 2, like so. And I'll just hide the rest. Oops. Oh, just some stuff happening outside. These I can remove, because what's going to happen is I'm going to draw a line. Oops. What happens? I'll put this all the way down here, and then I'll draw a little line that then shows that they move down there. Like so. This is more of a layout thing, but essentially these will be all soprano ones, and then they'll move down there. And then the solo will be, you know, whoever it is will be on her own. And yeah, get this. Like there. Now let's create backing parts. So we got this is now, I mean, all the harmonies covered, so all I'm doing now is just creating something that sounds like a bit music box would be nice. Just something that creates motion, that's all. It's not, you know, it's not serving important harmonic purposes here, because I'm just, all the harmonies happening in the sopranos and altos, and then these guys are doing simple backing. Oh, is this going to be a bit low? It is a bit low. So something like that will move it. Okay, so that's better. Now how do I do this so I get the correct? That might be okay. Something like that. And let's make it sound nice and oceany. Have them all breathe at the same time. Just who's. Like so. Yeah, that should be fine. Maybe, that's not. Something that leads a bit nicer down. Yeah, something like that. Do, 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 do. Yeah, I'm just working out something that'll like work nicely. Okay. Yeah, I think that's fine. And so this will probably be a MF, I reckon. Oops. So it does sound a little, what should I say? It sounds a bit sea shanty-ish, which is perhaps not the most wonderful effect. But I think because the song ends up sounding a bit dreary often, I think it might be okay. It's, it's not an exact science, and, you can try stuff out, and if it doesn't work, then fine. Try something else. Like so. Oops. I think maybe towards the end here, have basses and tenors saying the same as the sopranos, alto. So that means the words. So that we get a bit of a like definite end to this section, and then moving on to something else. So what would be good? So we probably. Put them up there. There we go. That'll be a bit nicer, and then that creates a clear transition to the next section. So from here. Yeah, that'll be fine. Now, when they're doing oohs, then they'll make the parts sound clearly like apart from the the people doing the words. And okay. So who's not had a moment yet is what I'm asking now. It's altos have had a moment. Tenors have had a moment. Basses have had a moment. Sopranos have kind of. It's like quite okay. So they are doing the melody later on here. Maybe having male voices here will make it sound like there's some contrast with this next bit. So if I assume, maybe I'll give it to the tenors again, and then I'll have. So I'll design some sort of counter melody for at least one of the other parts to sing. So I'm thinking doing maybe not something that goes on all female parts. I might have some of them doing harmonies. That's fine. What I want to do is to have some of them doing counter melody, maybe some of them harmonizing with the melody. Just a handful of them. Let's try some stuff out. So melodies. Now, when you design counter melodies, you want to try and make your counter melody as effective as possible. So make sure it doesn't happen at the same key as the melody. Something like that. Okay, so that's just me thinking about what's the harmony. Is the melody being active? So in this case, ooh, that's good. Starting on a D, might not be in the soprano part because they just ended here. I might have to write something descending to get there because this is a drop of a seventh, which is a bit awkward. But here's the line words. So. Children waiting for the day they feel. Do 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 do. Let's hear what that sounds like. Like that. Yeah, so then the second time it goes a bit higher up. Again, got to be careful, but because it's split, so it's S1, S2, most likely you'll put the people that can sing a high F in your S1, so it'll be fine. So we're looking at... like that. That'll be a nice little counter melody. And now I'm just phrasing it. So all I'm doing is, giving them spaces to breathe. I'll just have them on oohs again. I'm not being very creative with the syllables, but I don't think you have to be. Like, oohs and ahs, they just work. Like, just use them, whatever. Okay, so that's my counter melody. Now, to keep it easier for the basses, I'm gonna copy what I wrote here. This is probably not going to be the transition I need. I assume I'm going to do some sort of cadence here. That's what I'll be doing. Some sort of cadence. I don't know what it's going to be. It might be, something that's a perfect cadence, or don't know. Now the question is, do I then put accompaniment parts in the other parts? Yeah. And I'll... yeah, like that. These guys should be MF. And then I'll have... Okay, so what I'll do... I'll have one person or one part harmonizing with them above, maybe. So one of the authors will be harmonizing with them above. Then I might just take this tenor part and move it. I don't know, maybe I can put it on the sopranos just as it is. Again, just reusing material. Doesn't quite work. Let's start by harmonizing. So Let's try that. Now I'm also looking at my counter melody and thinking, what's covered by the counter melody? What can I add? And I guess I do need... yeah, that'd be flat. Yeah. Trying to cover everything. There we go. Yeah, and then I end up with all parts covered. Now I do end up with a minor ninth interval here. I think maybe I'll just keep it an open fifth here. Sorry, an open interval. Let's put them together and see. So I got to make sure that all thirds are covered so that I don't end up with a too open sounding chord. It's not a crisis if I do. Like, I have been using a lot of open intervals earlier in this arrangement, but yeah, as a general rule, trying to make sure those thirds are covered. Let's go. Okay, so what will this be like? Yeah, that's sounding okay, I think. Now, oops. Yeah, you know what, I like that, I'm going to keep that. So, and then I do the same thing for the second time, again, keeping it the same, not keeping it similar but different, because that's annoying to learn. But all I'm doing right now, effectively, is just harmonizing a third above. But it's fairly low in the alto range, and tenors should be able to ring out clearly above them. Goes down, yeah. Yeah, and that coincides with that B, so you don't get that semitone clash. It's not perfect because they're in unison. Maybe I can improve this. Maybe like something like that. So up to the seventh. Just trying to get like more out of it. If you've got stuff happening in unison, then you kind of lose one part, and ideally you'd want to make sure all parts are doing something that contributes. Let's listen to that. Actually, you know what? Let's make it MP. So I do want it to be a little step down here. No, that's messy. Yeah, because it's happening. Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to avoid parallel moving fifths here. Yeah, that just about works. Let's put that on the first note, actually. New section, new dynamic. I'll create some sort of answering phrase here, because here it does change slightly. But let's spread these out first. Like so. Went to school. Yeah. It's okay. So they've got the same thing twice, so that's easy to then remember. Now they do have a bit of a jump, but it's fine because it's then being followed by a jump upwards. Do, 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 do. Yeah, I think that's a manageable thing to learn. Like so. And again, the baseline I designed is just something that has a bit of motion to it. I'll do the same thing here, where I will have them do the words. Sit and listen. Like that. Yeah, and then getting louder, like so. Now the question is, what do I do with my last sopranos? Now because they're split, I could just have them harmonizing with this counter melody. I mean, why not? Bit of harmonization, then I can fill in any sort of gaps in the chords, because like the main character here will be the tenors and the altos will be supporting them, and then the basses and the sopranos are just providing background. Yeah, thank you, Nick. It didn't. I don't think it would have looked so easy when I was doing my first arrangements, and then I was a bit like, oh my god, why is it sounding so bad? I don't know what's going on. But I've done this for so many years now that I just kind of I'll pick up on, okay, so now this chord sounds wrong and this do. So it just comes with experience. So but thank you. Okay, so yeah, I think why not have the basses join in on the action here? Why not? I mean, it is like an echo, isn't it? Sit and listen, and then sit and listen as an echo. So to have some response from the other parts is nice. So that's sit and listen. Ooh. Okay. I really do need to do some more singing practice soon. So, I mean, do I really need to fill in here? I feel like, most of it's kind of filled in, isn't it? Maybe I'll just have the sopranos in unison. You know what, I'm not going to do more. I think I can just have the sopranos in unison here because I have kind of covered all the important notes in the chord. Yeah, the extensions. I mean, I only covered the extensions very briefly during the harmony stream. There's a lot more to it. It was supposed to be like just for beginners, but then I ended up just kind of going, again, once I start talking about music theory, I just end up like going, and I find it very exciting, obviously. So there's a lot more that I might be able to cover in extensions and stuff, but it is music theory, and strictly speaking, my channel is more about the choir stuff. But inevitably, if you do arranging and you want to get to a higher level, then music theory is something you can't really avoid. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Okay, so now I see here, this is the previous chorus. What I want to do is I want to bring these voices down in pitch, because the top soprano part here is all the way up on a C, and it's going to be ending up on a D. Now that's a big interval to jump. This interval isn't too bad, and this isn't too bad, but I can probably design something that'll sound smooth and nice, and then I'll find some sort of cadence that will make this work. So let me just listen to what I've got before here. Okay, so we're here. So that's the top part. I want to go. So the top soprano part, I want it to go like that. So now I'll want to avoid. Actually, it might be fine. That is kind of, that's a bit nasty. And that is you know, effectively parallel moving fifths. It sounds a bit like, it's not the most like efficient. Because this song is, and we mentioned this in the first part of the stream, it's in the Dorian mode, and so using something like a perfect cadence is going to sound a bit awkward. So if I do just like, that doesn't really fit when you're doing modal music. So I think that kind of cadence works much better in modal music. So that's the four chord to the one chord. So how would I design that then? Something like that would be nice. So the chord progression that would make most sense for getting from C major here to G minor would probably be C, C, B flat, C, G minor. And then I just organize it from top down. So I have a soprano line in mind. Now I want my sopranos to be in unison because the next bit they're going to be in unison. So I'll start putting them in unison here. Like this. And I'll put this in both parts because they've been split. And then I can probably breath here. Actually, you know what? It's such a short phrase that they can do it. I trust them. They can do it. This soprano section that doesn't exist. Like so. That'll be smooth. And then there's a little decrescendo. So you have a line that then transitions into the next phrase. Copy this. Now here, in the final score, and I'll show this when I start doing the layout, I'm then going to be hiding this soprano stuff because I'm now going to put in, and I'll show how to do this, but essentially you're putting arrows to show that they're going into one part. There's no need to double. If they're singing exactly the same thing, no need to double up on the staves. It just takes up more pages. John Talon and Bennett, super cool. I'm not familiar with them. I mean, I can certainly check them out and have a look. I have thought about, and I was talking with Therese about maybe doing some videos where we listen to pieces and talk about them from different perspectives. I'll talk about the arrangement, and Therese might talk about stuff like the performance and, you know, whatever we can. And yeah, I'm not actually familiar with this piece. I mean, I can have a look at it and see. Not promising anything, but I can certainly have a look at it. How can anyone? Well, yeah, you'd be like, I mean, complex harmony is not a new thing. It is, you know, composers have been pushing the boundaries of harmony for hundreds of years. You know, even like atonal music, that's like 100 years old, almost. Like it's, you know, harmony has been pushed and pushed and pushed. Like it's, and there's a lot of like written theory on it. So there's, you know, it's a very, kind of covered field. And, you know, it's not strange that a lot of composers are now diving more into electronics and weird alternative instruments, because effectively the field of harmony has been, especially, you know, within our 12-tone system, has been kind of milked for all it's worth. And now, you know, people need to start looking elsewhere. So a lot of pop music, for instance, is very focused on complex rhythms. Yeah, I thought it might be. The name does ring a bell. There's a good chance I might have sung something of his. I can't remember what it might have been. But yeah, you know, that makes sense. Yeah, I'll make a note about it, and we'll see. As I said, I have thought about talking about different kinds of music with Therese. So. Just make a note. I'm going to make notes. So I don't forget. Okay. Anyway, back to my arrangement. Okay, so now I'm doing a transition. and I've written my soprano part here, and I'll just fill in from the top down like I do. So I'll just copy this down. So then it'll be something like that, maybe. Maybe I'll do it as a straight, like straight up. Ooh, because they need to get to their G. There we go. And then as they go lower in pitch, they will naturally get quieter. That was in 4 bars, right? Yeah. Okay. Here we go. There we go. And then I want them to carry through to this, and then they can take a breath. There we go. Moving on to G minor chord here. They can stay on their G. And I'm going to look over the voice leading in a minute. I just got to make sure that this is all looking nice. There we go, and there we go. And yeah. There. There you go. So yeah. So let's listen to this transition, see how it sounds. So it does sound like they cut off very suddenly here, but in a performance space, I think that'll be fine. I mean, I can play, once I finish up the arrangement, I can like add a lot of reverb to it, and it'll give a better impression of, you know, how smooth it'll sound. I think it's gonna sound fine with real voices. Let's do it one more time, just for safety. It's kind of, so you get out of this squeaky music box bit, and you get into the high soprano bit. Again, I'll just kind of, I think it's just sounding all right now. Was there something I missed here? No, it's okay. I think it sounds a little bit like, with the samples, a little bit awkward. I think, just from my knowledge, this will sound fine with real voices. Okay. Okay, so that's 3 minutes. Okay, so now we're approaching where, you know, it might be time to start wrapping up the song. So I think I could probably just do a very simple outro here. So I'll probably, well, I can finish with like a scrunchy nice little chord, so how do I do? Maybe filling something like that. yeah, I think having them move down, have a few like moving parts, and just end up on a nice little chords. You're not disturbing me. I'm live streaming. I want people to comment. Yes, I do custom arrangements. So if you want me, you can email me. So I've got an email address on my YouTube channel. So just send me an email and give me the details. Of course, I mean, during the epidemic, the pandemic, a lot of my work has disappeared. So I'm more than happy to take on more work. Let's see. Just carry this going through. So, so I'll have like a massive decrescendo. E, hang on. There. You have to go to D. You can stay on that G. So that we're ending up, again, we're just at a G minor chord. And there. Now it will switch it around. So now the sopranos, because I'm cutting away all the extra stuff. In fact, I'll remove this. I'm not going to go any further. So P, doop, doop, doop. Yeah. And then I'll have, so let me work out some nice. So it'll be bass is down here. We just end on a dominant. Why not? Be nice little spacious, and we'll have it as a slash chord. So a slash chord is one, a triad on top of a bass note that's not on the triad. So it'll be this one. With the extra. Yeah, if I then have a big decrescendo so they go quite quiet, then yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, Nick. Thank you for commenting and thank you for joining me. It's a shame that I got cut off. I don't know, I'm not sure exactly why, but yeah, I ended up having to cut the stream into two, which I ideally wouldn't want to do, but it doesn't matter. It's a live stream, stuff happens. So here, now the sopranos are singing the melody, and I'm just having essentially this scrunchie chord turn into this scrunchie chord. In fact, I'll have a writ, so slow down, maybe around here-ish. So middle of that bar. Now, can I put the tenors on our notes? Well, I guess it's fine. They've been dipping into the moderate high range for a while. D, B flat, but yeah, that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. Is that a note? Word. Dot, dot, dot. And then I'll spread these out. So that's in 5 parts. Yes. Like so. With a stop on it. Stop on that. And Like so. That'll be just like a simple, nice way to end the song. So I'm just like finishing there. Let's play from here. So now we're halfway through our loud chorus. In fact, let's keep them on that D, see if that sounds a bit cooler. Yeah, I think that's a bit nicer, having that extra little note there. Wonder, can I do more moving parts here? Let me try. It might sound rubbish, but let's see if that sounds good. Yeah, that might be okay. Yeah, I think that's okay. Just to give a little bit more motion to some of the inner parts. Yeah. Okay, so I haven't written out the beginning yet. In fact, I deleted the piano part, so I'll have to. But I think I'll do it very simply. I don't think there's any point in hanging around. You just signify to the audience, this is the song we're doing. And I think I won't use the music works stuff here. I'll just have so stuff like that. Now I'm just playing it in two parts because essentially I'm just going to fill in the other parts. Maybe a little pause on that long one. So. Again, I'm thinking voice leading now because I don't want the top soprano part to go up to that there and then have to go all the way down there. So I might have them not sing that first note and come in on the second note instead. Oops. Like so. Just always thinking about the voice leading. There. Now, technically this is doubling the third, but it's, one of the parts has been split, so it's fine. Like so. And I'll start this quiet, getting loud. Yeah, and then I'll fill in. So we've got That's just from the piano cover, the famous piano cover. So, let's turn up. Yep. And again, filling in chords, picking stuff that's not already covered by other parts, and trying to avoid, certain consecutive intervals that will draw the attention of the ear. So, in fact, I'll draw it on the bass clef. So. There we go. Stay on that D actually. Give us a nice little extra note. There. That should sound good. Slow that together, slow that together. Slow, slow, slow. Okay, I'll just go with oohs. That's all long notes. That's all long notes. Normally I would use a numeric keypad, which I have on my good computer, but because I'm using just 2 USB ports and I can't fit in both my microphone sound card and the keyboard and something else, this is just a temporary solution. Okay, let's do this. In fact, I don't like the indication part. I'll moderate the with motion. So let's write in syllables. Now I've simplified. Should I have the anticipation? Yeah, why not? I mean, it's a big part of the piano part. It anticipates slightly. Like so. Maybe a slight pause on these. It's nice just linger on that chord for a bit. Not super long, but and I'm wondering. You know what I'll do? I'll add in an extra bar. Like so. I'll give them like an extra bar where they're just in open fifths. It's just kind of nice just to start with that complex harmony. Well, I mean, moderately complex, not super complex. And then just have one bar where they're like, ooh, open fifths. And then the melody comes in. Like so. Just draw all words into place and everything's in place. Let's listen to that. Actually, I haven't written in all the don't forget to put in, because it's so easy. It's so easy to just write in everything when you've got Sibelius. You just copy paste. So there's no excuse not to put in all the sounds and words. So just do it. Okay, another idea let's shorten this a bit. It's a pause anyway, so it'll be for however long. Let's make those a bit shorter, like this. And have a very decided early beat from the sopranos here. Like whole crotchet early. And I might even put select it. Select, come on. There. Get that in position. Mm-hmm. Cool. So so what I'm going to do now, I feel like my arrangement is more or less finished. So what I will do is so just to show that a bit of reverb will help, I'll just add a little bit of extra reverb in the software, just because it helps even out those awkward little pauses, which, yeah, though unfortunately software doesn't always illustrate correctly what it's going to look like in actual space, and of course they can't do words. But if I just for the demonstration throw on like a huge bit of reverb like this, for instance, it might sound quite washed over by reverb, we don't know, but that's what we want. Okay, just crank up that reverb, boom, 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 boom. Turn off the click, don't need that. And normally, for some reason, just with the samples I use, I find sopranos tend to be just a little bit too quiet, so I'm going to turn them up just a tad. And yeah, and we'll listen to it from start to finish, and then that'll give me a chance to just listen over what I've done, think about, does it reflect what I wanted from the arrangement? I think it does. I mean, I was kind of going into it with an open mind. But yeah, let's just listen to it. Okay, I'm mostly happy with that. I think I might just have sopranos just do this line towards the end again. Maybe. So what would how would I solve that? So I'll shift some of the chords around, the notes around, sorry, so that I instead have the sopranos carrying on their line here. It'll be quietly, but yeah, it'll be this thing again. Oops. Go away. And like so. Oops. And this will be shortened. In fact, yeah, it's just the same note, doesn't matter. Put this up a little bit. Don't want a line behind. It just means immediately slow. Ugh. Okay. So now I've switched it. You should be quiet. Yeah. Maybe just doing it. Like so. And starts here. Yeah, so when you've got something slowing down, it might be more, better to just have stuff on the beats, because then the conductor will control where everything lands. So now, because I've changed the soprano line, I'll have to change the other parts so that they fit. Because that G's not important. Stay on that note there, and then you can be on maybe there. No, that's doubling the melody. Don't need that. No, I don't need, because I've got the motion from that line now, I don't need to have more motion in the other parts, because you already have some motion happening. So G, E, D, B5. Yeah, so that's all the notes covered. They're doubling. That's not necessary. I guess it's fine. It's fine for them to double, but I think maybe just have it a bit lower. So at this point I'm choosing between doubling the minor third in the chord and the fifth in the chord, and it's like either of those is fine, and then I'll choose, okay, well, it's quiet, so pick the lower one so that it's easier to be quiet. Let's just listen to this. Then we can have a suspended fourth for Who Mad World, just as a little feature at the end. They'll have a nice suspended fourth. It's super cheesy, but it works, and people enjoy it. And we'll keep our D and the altos. Like so. Good. And we'll just go backwards. There were a few points I noticed that I wasn't happy with, a few things. This is okay. It's perhaps not like the most heartfelt version, but it is also a very workable version that a lot of choirs will be able to perform. This bit sounded really nice, I think. I'll keep that. That's okay. It did get quite bathed in reverb here, but I think just knowing from my experience this is going to work fine. I might end up, just to save space on the page, I'll put all the soprano parts onto one staff for bits of this to save just like page. Or I could go in a completely other direction where I just have them on separate ones. But like for a lot of the time, they're doing the same rhythm with slightly different, notes. So it's maybe not strictly necessary to have them as separate staves. So maybe just for consistency, it's slightly nicer to have them on different staves, in which case I can copy this exactly onto the other. So that'll be, just need to copy it. Like so. And yeah, I'll be considering, like, can I save space here? Can I save paper here? But also here, it's some slight advantage to just having them sing from a different staff. And here, I'll be doing this. Put this up here. And then I'll have a line, and this is something I'll have to sort out when I'm doing the layout. I will do bits of the layout here, but I'm noticing that this room is boiling right now. I feel like summer's come really early in London, almost like to tease people, because right now we don't exactly have a curfew, but it's not too far away from that. And then, of course, the sun's peeping out and everyone's like, oh, I really want to go outside. And we're not really supposed to. And so, and my flat gets quite warm. There we go. Yeah, that's one thing I noticed. I'll fix this in layout. This is all fine. Good. And I noticed there was a missing, so this one is missing the line. Yeah, it's just showing people how long it happens. Make it super clear how long people are singing the same syllable. And then here, it's good to just give them somewhere to breathe. Though, as was, I did give them one, the next one. People can always sneak a breath if they have to. Like, it's not an exact thing. Like, that's all fine. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I think I'm pretty much happy with that. So, then I go out of I've been working in panorama mode the whole time. Now I do a few things to the layouts. First of all, I want people to show what piece of music it is on each page. So I unhide this text here, double click it, and then I change it so it says title or $ title. Boom, and then it just says Mad World. Now, I don't really need to keep the instrument names on here because it has this useful brace here to show that this is the soprano parts, and then the other parts, if you've done choral music before, you'll know that those are going to be bass, tenor, and alto. First thing I do, I need to reduce the staff size just ever so slightly, like 6.5 maybe. Yeah. And then I'll start, so just move this a little bit out of the way. I'm going to optimize staff spacing and reset note spacing. That fixes 90% of our layout problems. Now I want to be able to see this staff size is fine everywhere except on the first page, and this is a common problem when you're doing layout. It's the first page will be a bit cramped and the others will be way too spacious. So let me see if I can fix that. So first of all, since I'm splitting the sopranos right from the beginning, just write 1 and then 2 so that people, it's just like it looks better visually. Maybe I'll give slightly less of a header size here, so something like say 28. It's not ideal maybe to have that, but it does mean that the staves become less cramped here. There, so that's a bit more clear. Now, when I'm publishing this, I will leave extra space at the bottom for the copyright information, so that's something I have to think about a bit later. But yeah, it's doing the layouts. You know, you need to spend a little bit of time on it. It's it's not something you can avoid. But this is all fine. I mean, it spaces itself out okay, and it's very clear. Nothing's sitting on top of each other. Sibelius generally gets this right. I like to try and put page turns on important moments, just because it looks nicer. I might just give a little bit of more heading space on the following pages. So maybe just like 13 even. 14. It was almost 12, wasn't it? Yeah, just so you have a bit more space. Again, there's so much space. This line is in the wrong place. Hang on. Yeah, Sibelius sometimes puts words and lyrics in the wrong place. You gotta move them into the correct place, like this. For some reason, yeah, it's lines that cross pages and systems tend to end up in the wrong. Oh, I just moved the bar numbers. Don't do that. I started, so when I do music for learning contemporary voices, I'll often do fairly small print because it's quite full of mostly young people and they don't have any issue reading smaller text. You'll have to kind of decide, like, will my choir be able to read the print size? And it's better to go too large than to go too small. But also don't be like putting one system a page or something ridiculous, which I have seen people do. That's just an incredible waste of paper. Just a bit more space here. Yeah, see, now that line will be an indication that, okay, you're supposed to switch staves now. Yeah, and then that fits nicely on 10 pages. Why you go up? And did I put everything? Yeah, I forgot. It's very, like, there'll be little bits of stuff you forget. Like, your singers can also write in stuff. Like, sometimes you forget to put in a word, and it happens. You know, I'm handing in sometimes professional bookings scores where I've forgotten to put something in. It's fine. It happens. Just acknowledge that you made a mistake and fix it. We all make mistakes. There we go. Boop. Anything else I should do here? No. Now, gotta check that no lyrics are overlapping, because Sibelius is sometimes a bit weird when it comes to lyrics, and lyrics can start overlapping and it becomes hard to read. But this is all fine. Just filling up the glasses, new expression. And my head one drum and so no tomorrow. Nobody can find out what I said. Can read it. Maybe I'll make it abundantly clear. So just make it abundantly clear that this is, they're singing through here. Then you mark it up using essentially an underline like this, and it creates a nice little symbol that shows you're supposed to carry through. I try to stick in breaths as much as I can so people can see very clearly where they're supposed to be breathing. That's all fine. Children waiting for the day they feel good. Happy birthday. Every child should. So listen to, yeah, can read it. At school, very nervous. No one knew me. Let's do the most of it. Yeah, and same thing here. Just you're supposed to sing through, so do that. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think that arrangement's pretty much finished. So I think I will end my stream here. And yeah, thank you for joining me. And, you know, I think if I add up, I'm not sure exactly how long the other stream was, but you know, I think I ended up spending about the same time as last time. So had some technical difficulties, some small technical difficulties. But you know, mostly it went well, didn't it? Let's see. Just got to check. I'm just curious. This is just for myself to see. So, yeah, the previous one I did was 3:45. It says, and about 20 minutes of that was me trying to figure out why the live stream wasn't working. And then with this one, hour 45. Yeah, so it is roughly 5.5 hours. There we go. I mean, that was about the time I spent last time. Good. Okay. Well, I mean, leave me in the comments if you have any questions or something you'd like me to cover. I have a few episodes coming up. There's one that I did a while ago, back when we were still allowed to meet people in person, which will be coming out soon. That was with Therese and some of our friends. It's quite a fun one, a bit different from my channel, but I think you'll enjoy it. I've been asked to cover how to write piano accompaniment if you're not used to doing that, which is something I'll do. Again, there'll be loads of channels on YouTube that will cover piano stuff if you're looking for that, but I'll talk about specifically how do you do it for choir. And I'll give you a spoiler. Keep it simple. And else, yeah, well, I mean, I've got a lot of time these days because all my concerts got cancelled and musicians don't really have a lot of stuff, like live stuff to work on. So we're all working on long-term projects from home. So I'll be doing more streaming, probably try and do one a week. So I'll be having my theory lesson again next week. Next week I'll also be releasing a new video. And yeah, anyway, I will see you all in another video, another stream, another time and space. So bye.